I think you took it too far, Bob. Well, I just want you to know that it's all about the kids.
It's always about the kids.
If truth.
Oh, goodness. My drink is starting to get funny. Oh, oh my.
That face you made says it all. Welcome to the Stiff Truth, everyone. I'm Bob West. I'm here with the one and only Scott Casanova. We are drinking some hearty rum runners today.
Oof.
Welcome to the show. How you doing?
Hold on, just gotta get past this one. We're doing okay. Slightly under the weather. I've got my sexy voice for you today, Bob, or just very congested and lung butter filled stuff. So what do you think about that? You look like you're really having a go of it over there.
I'm trying to soak it all in. I'm trying to figure out what this drink's really doing to me. I can feel it. It's sat for about a good 8 minutes now, so it has sat there. But man, there's 151 sitting on the top of this drink, everyone. So it's a little hearty. That first couple drinks is it's something to behold, something to contemplate about what you're about to get into.
Yeah, it's interesting too, because I'm wondering to myself, why float the 151 on the top? I mean, what kind of asshole are we trying to be here? Apparently dialed in assholes. I mean, I think that's the whole point of this drink is it's supposed to be painful at the beginning to get to the smooth fruity finish, apparently, because once we get past this 151, it's all gravy. I mean, more like fruity, but you know what I mean?
Yeah, you need an oral analgesic numbing agent.
I think we're starting to get past the 151 now.
Yeah, and you know what? It's just an ass kicker at the beginning, just enough to be like, God damn! But then you get to it, and the drink is actually delightful.
Yeah.
Once you get past that, it is a really good drink. I like the Rum Runner. I'm a fan.
Yeah, it's a pretty looking drink too. I like it. It's got a nice kind of ruby red kind of hue to it once it's all shaken up in that
grapefruit
glass.
juice, right? A little bit.
Yeah. I mean, it looks pretty similar, doesn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, not bad. I'm a fan of this drink. We tried it the first time we tried it. It was a couple weeks ago. It was a little while back, but we just we're getting frisky with it in the book, and we decided to make it because it had 151 and we needed an ass kicker. So we did it, and it delivers. This is a stiff drink. Now the rest of the drink isn't very stiff, but it doesn't matter because you're already half a shot in of 151.
Yeah, I mean a half a shot of 151 is like a shot and a half, 2 shots of anything else. I mean, this is some. It's interesting. We hardly get to use the 151, so I'm glad we got to work it out today. You know what I mean? I mean, I literally have dust on the top of it. Not anymore. No dust now. It's nice and lubed up there on the 151. But yeah, it's a fun drink. It's fun to make too. And guys, just so you can get out there and mix one up if you want to feel frisky there and you want to do a nice rum cocktail. It's pretty simple. I mean, it's a half ounce of light rum, dark rum, banana liqueur. We use 99 bananas because, why not? It's the Stiff Truth. We don't fuck around. And blackberry brandy is the other one. So half ounce of each of those bad boys. Then a splash, which is all relative to what you think a splash is. I like to put big ropes of grenadine, orange juice, and sour mix in there, but it says a splash of those 3 things. So again, grenadine, sour mix, orange juice, and then you shake that bitch up with much vigor. Pour it in a nice tall. We both used a highball glass filled with ice, and it's nice. And then from there, you throw that you kind of float that half ounce of the 151 on the very tip top, just so you can make sure you do not like the beginning of your drink. That's what we're going for
here. Just when you think this drink is fucking nasty, you get past it, and you're like, wait a minute, this drink's actually really good. And because you've gotten a little bit tuned up with that 151, everything else is much more palatable no matter what. But also, it'll hit you pretty quick. So before you know it, this drink can get up on you, and it does make it hearty because all the, the liqueurs and everything. I mean, the 99 bananas is something, but it doesn't call for that. We just throw it in there because we like it stiff, right? But I think the 151 is what makes this drink, it manlies it up a little bit. You know what I mean? It does make it stiff, because without it, it's kind of a puss drink. But man, with it's up there. I like it.
Yeah, and you make a good point too, Bob. You can kind of, I think anything tastes good after the 151. I mean, you could literally layer this drink with a sack of assholes if you wanted to.
Just sucking corn kernels from assholes, and it's like, it's delightful.
All of a sudden, it's like, oh, I never knew like stale corn shit would be so tasty. But yeah, I think the 151 does definitely, it dampers down the senses a little bit. So, but good stuff though, man. It definitely a stiff cocktail here. Now, is there a season for this cocktail? Is this a summertime drink? I don't know. You would think it would be, because it's rum based, but I don't know. I don't see myself like taking that first couple of sips out in the hot sun in 90-degree weather. You know what I mean? I might want an air conditioned nightmare for the beginning of this drink, and then maybe I walk outside after I polish off the 151 part of it. I don't know.
I think it's definitely something we're gonna have to look into on the ship.
Oh, get some rum runners, yeah, on the
I
cruise.
think so. Because I bet you there's different kind of varieties of this, because I believe there's a version that's blended.
Yes, that's right, with some ice in there. Yeah, like a slushy. That sounds lovely.
I could get down on this. Give me an umbrella and get this in a slushy. Now, just bring it out with a half a shot of 151 on the side, and just let me shoot it and get right on into this drink. I think that might be better.
Breathe some fire and then put it out with your drink. Yeah, that makes sense.
But I like the flavor. I like the mixture of everything. I think it has great flavor.
Yeah, it is interesting. I mean, it really is interesting that the two rums and then some blackberry brandy and some banana liqueur, it makes that kind of like a fruity essence. This is almost like a fruit punch. It's like a dank fruit punch. That's kind of what I'm getting from that.
Yeah, or like a tropical fruit punch. You know how they have like the fruit punch Capri Suns, but then they have like the tropical set where it's like tropical breeze or whatever the fuck it's called. This is the alcoholic version of that.
Right, and there's like no real fruit like making the flavors. The tropical fruit punch. That we like that. That makes sense. I like that. Well,
yeah, I like my chemicals tropical flavored.
I like that. That's very good stuff.
So I don't know, just kind of personal lives wise, we're getting down to a few weeks. I'll try not to give specifics in the interest of safety first, but we're getting down to a few weeks, and we're about to go on our cruise. And man, I got to tell you, I'm fucking stoked. I'm getting like short timeritis. Like I'm just wanting to push through, and I've got 3 classes I got to try to wrap up while keeping my son on his semester to finish strong and all of that, to try to wrap up before I can officially move on. Now my school ends next week, so I'll have everything wrapped up, and then we'll just be trying to focus on making sure he doesn't, fall short or lose steam the last couple weeks of the semester, because it's easy to do. And man, I'm fucking ready. I'm fucking ready to go. How about you?
Yeah, I'm ready to go too. I mean, I've been ready for a while. I don't know if anybody's noticed, but we've both been wearing Hawaiian type shirts on the show for the past few weeks, at least, right? 3 or 4 weeks, or 3 or 4 shows. I don't know. Has it been?
We're getting into that. You're in your 40s now, Scott.
This is true.
We've got to take advantage of these warmer temps.
Yeah,
we got to get it on. I'm not saying we have to get the New Balances and with
Not
the
yet.
long white tube socks. I'm not saying that we're there yet, but are we at Hawaiian shirts and like golf shorts? I'm absolutely there. I'm absolutely there.
Well, once I start complaining about my bunions hurting and things like that, maybe it will be time to get the New Balances. But I don't know. I don't know if I'm going to celebrate that, but I think eventually I'm going to have to get some cushy shoes, some supportive shoes. But right now, I'm still hanging tough. I don't need it.
It won't be New Balance, dude. It'll be like Nike Air. Come on.
Yeah, that's true.
Come on.
I
dude.
mean,
we're like going to be 90s, like old people. So I won't ever do the New Balance. I've never owned a pair, and I'm not going to start now.
Well, I'm going to get you some for your birthday. How about that? I can get you a nice hot pink
Can they be like the white on white with the blue outline of the N? Because that's
Absolutely.
that is like the boomer shoe right there.
I want to make sure that everybody can see you coming like miles away. Like it's like you're all. It's not. I see the shoes. I see the Dockers. I see the Hawaiian shirt. That must be Bob. I think that's what we're going for here, dude.
Hey,
safety first.
You got any like things like last minute things you're gonna prepare? Like I think about the like meet the cranks, right? When they're gonna go on their cruise and they're finally like spending time without their kids for the first time, and they're like, well, let's go get tans, all that. And I gotta be honest, I thought about it, but I don't think I'm gonna actually do it. Are you trying to prepare in any special way other than just getting the hell out of here?
I'm trying to flush out like all this lung butter before the cruise. That's kind of my big thing. I actually invoked the sickness right now just to make sure I didn't get something last minute.
To like lengthen the window for you to like get it done with.
Yeah. Just got to get that done. But no, in all seriousness, though, I have thought about that too. But I think I'm just going to kind of come in guns blazing with all my Casper glory when it comes to the skin tone and everything. There's no shame in my game. You know what I mean? I imagine I'm going to like forget to put a couple applications of sunscreen on while we're there. I'll probably have like a ridiculous like farmer's burn going on or something like that. That's super painful, and I'm gonna wear that with pride. So I don't know if I'm gonna be doing that.
I don't know. Our wives will probably make sure that we're wearing sunscreen, I would imagine. If not, my wife will. She'll be running around like the sunscreen Nazi. Did you put sunscreen on? I will ask the questions.
We do love that.
So no, I mean honestly, she does like she keeps our family from getting burned. She really does go around and like make sure everyone puts their sunscreen on. God bless her, she's a saint.
Literally and figuratively. That's nice. We do appreciate that. Got to have the burn Nazi in the house.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. Besides that, now you have me thinking like I'm going to be not prepared or something like that. I mean, I'm definitely going to make sure my toenails are clipped, because I'm going to be sporting open-toed shoes for a decent amount of it when we're not, dining.
I haven't thought about maybe getting a pedi. Never had one before, but I was just like, maybe now's the good time to get one. Because, for just to get down into what it's like when you're in your 40s, like dry, crusty, white, cracked heels and shit. And like, maybe I should go see the Asian ladies there and like take care of my feet. And I'm not being stereotypical. That's literally the only place the only places that have pedicures are full of Asian people. I don't know. That's just how it is in Rio Rancho. So.
Wow, Bob. Wow. It's okay. I mean, if it's proof in the pudding, like this is actually an actual thing. Like you've checked. You've tried to be like the diversity enforcer, but there's no white or black people in these establishments. They're just Asian, huh? What about Mexicans? Do you think they slid in a couple Mexicans that maybe look like a little bit Asian? Are they getting kind of?
Do you think they like taught them Vietnamese?
Yeah.
So they can like talk shit back there with everyone.
Hey, say what you will. Equal opportunity employers. But one thing that burns me a little bit is when you go to like a teppan grill, right? Like a Japanese teppan grill, and your chef is Mexican, but he's trying to like even like do like a Japanese accent and stuff like that. You're like, who you fooling, bro? What are you doing over here? And then he's got like old English tattooed on his neck and everything. I'm like, you're not Japanese.
That reminds me of the movie where Timothy Olyphant is like the sushi chef. Yeah. I forget what movie that is, but it's pretty funny. So I don't know. Actually, a pedicure is kind of in the air for me. I'm still trying to see. Maybe that's something that I want to do. Go short my feet so I don't have any foot issues while I'm running around on the cruise, like in either Vans or sandals or something the whole time. So maybe I might take a look at that. I told Jess she has carte blanche. So whatever you want done, you want your hair did, your nails done, your feet done, you want some tanning set, like whatever the fuck you want to do. I said, let's go ahead and get it done because I want you to feel and look and be the best version of yourself that you feel like you can take on your cruise so that you have the best time.
Is that why the two FedEx guys are in your room right now with Jess?
Come on, Scott.
It's UPS. They're Amazon delivery drivers. Come on.
Well, it's really one of each.
Yeah. Gotta mix it up, dude. You gotta mix it up. Yeah,
I'm here to deliver this package. It's
You're gonna need to sign for it too.
Somebody had a priority delivery for this package.
My goodness, Bob. Well, I'll tell you what though. Either way, I don't know if I'm gonna get a pedicure. How much does a pedicure cost? I don't even
know,
know,
man. I think they're like
ignorant to this.
50, $60 or something like that, and naturally like a tip or something, right? I would imagine. Last time I looked. Let's see.
So you only have to give them the tip? That's not bad.
Just the tip.
Yeah, that's a pretty good deal. You know what I mean? Interesting. I've never gotten one before. There is a stigma, I think. But I'm not really sure I buy into that. Like, if you want your nails and your toenails and your fingernails to look nice, I think I'm okay with that.
Yeah. I don't really care at my age. I just don't. I have few shits to give anymore. It's just.
And when you do give shits, they're usually explosive diarrhea shits. You know what I mean?
So look, I'm looking on Groupon right now. $25, $32.
That's not bad.
$25. No, it's not looking crazy right now, but I mean, overall, it looks like it's anywhere from $25 to $100, just kind of depending on the place that you go. Go to a spa, it's going to be, more important. You go to the local nail salon in the strip mall, obviously it's going to be a little less. So that's what it's looking like. I would say plan on a good, I think we hit it right. It's around $50-$60. I think is pretty solid, pretty fair.
It's going to be a little less in the hole in the wall place, but you spend a little bit more on the happy ending, so it all balances out. You know what I mean?
What do you mean there's no happy ending? She's like, sir, I'm doing your toenails. You better get to work.
Work your way up. You're not that far.
What is the word for blowjob in Vietnamese? What the fuck are we talking about? Fucking Google translating over there like ferociously trying to get it done before she's finished.
Here we go. Got the basically fruit at the bottom.
No,
I'm telling you, man.
I'm making good headway.
It's just so delicious now.
So
Yes.
Interesting fact. I found out today.
Uh-oh.
Do you know? I mean, we talk about booze a lot on the show, right? We talk about how we've openly made mistakes and we've repented for our sins, such as disregarding gin and then really finding out how wonderful of a booze that is, right?
Very true. I mean, again, gin, I apologize, but I mean, we're friends now, so everything's good. Where are you going with this, Bob?
So I haven't had Aviator yet, which is, a good friend of the show, Ryan Reynolds.
Yeah, didn't he sell that for like $500 million or something crazy like that?
I don't know. He sold Mint Mobile to T-Mobile, but
he sure did.
He also made Aviator Booze and a new contestant in the booze game that I saw that just is a little bit interesting. Emma Watson, actress who plays Hermione in Harry Potter, started up a gin company. She is now officially a distiller. And I'm all for it. I'm all for that. Make the booze. I wish I could make booze. That sounds like an awesome way to diversify your incomes by making this a great booze. And what a way to have passion about something that you're making money off of.
Now, did she just buy like a private label gin and like rebrand it, you think? Because that seems to be maybe the easier thing to do. Or is she in there hitting the books, becoming like a master distiller? You know what I mean?
I don't really know. I think it might be more her brother, but it's a business that she has with her and her brother.
Oh, okay.
But the gin is called Renee, Renais, Renee. So I don't know, worth giving a shot. I just wanted to mention it just because I saw it and I was just like, oh, Emma Watson. I haven't heard that name in a while. And when I do finally hear it, so she says she's wanting to get back into to do more acting. She's taking a break. And she's now a distiller. And I was just like, well, that's fucking cool.
Did she really have to do anything for the rest of her life? I would imagine if she's smart with her money and has a good agent, that the Harry Potter movies will just keep her coasting indefinitely.
Yeah, as long as she doesn't go like Nick Cage and start buying castles and shit, she'll probably be fine.
Yeah. I mean, everybody does need at least one or two castles, though. I mean, let's be serious here.
I mean, you don't have a castle? What are you, poor?
You're like, yes, absolutely.
You've made bad investments if you don't have a castle. You can't afford a castle. What's wrong with you?
Well, speaking of bad investments, what do you think about old Tucker Carlson and Don Lemon?
Well, so I think this is two wildly different things that happened on the same fucking day.
Now, do you think there's any? Do you think the same day thing is there cause and effect here with just the actions happening on the same day, or is it just a wild coincidence? Because I'm kind of thinking it's just a wild coincidence.
I think it is a coincidence because it takes a minute to fire someone. You can't just be like, well, they fired Tucker today. Well, like today's the day. Go ahead and fire Don. It'll kind of fly a little bit more under the radar with Tucker being fired.
I don't know if it takes that much effort, Bob. Here, watch. I'll fire you real quick. Step into my office. Here, why? Because you're fucking fired. Get out of here.
And I think that of the two, Don Lemon got actually fired with a severance package and terminated, and he can move on with his life. Probably has some sort of lengthy NDA that goes along with the severance packages, because you know how companies like to slide that shit in there.
I heard he does have a lengthy NDA. Oh, I mean, non-disclosure agree. Okay, never mind. That's rumor mill stuff. Sorry about that.
You know, Don Lemon's been kind of a disaster for years. I mean, he's been kind of flirting and skating with, you know, his reputation for quite some time now, and you just hear negative things about it. I haven't heard anything positive when the name Don Lemon has been mentioned in a long time. Whereas Tucker Carlson, it's quite the opposite, right? Tucker Carlson is the most famous cable news personality in the world.
We talked about this too. I would go as far to say that he saved Fox News when they were in turmoil, like in kind of just, you know, after the Bill O'Reilly thing and Megyn Kelly left and all that kind of stuff, they kind of really had dropped the ball with popularity in general. And here comes this dude that just takes them to the top of the charts. And during the pandemic too. But yeah, wildly different scenarios. I've never liked Don Lemon. I think he's kind of a douchebag, pretentious douchebag. He's always got a shit-eating look on his face, which typically I love eating shit, but not the way he likes to do it. I'm just gonna say
he does kind of personify that leftist elitist that everyone seems to point to and hate and say, look, you're the type of guy that makes us hate you and hate all liberals.
Right. He's not doing liberals,
and they're all Don Lemon. And really they're not, but the loudest ones are. The ones with the biggest platform are.
And you know, he's not doing any favors for the Democratic Party. We'll just go ahead and say that. But you're right though about Tucker. And digging into this a little bit more too, Bob, it's really interesting here. There seems to be some pretty wild speculation and almost conspiracy type theory ideas on why this happened to him. Some people say, like, you know, I think it was a personal thing with Rupert Murdoch, just didn't like him. He was looking for any reason to get rid of him, and he finally saw his window and took the opportunity. Other people say it's the Dominion thing. Other people are saying that the Dominion thing's really not that big of a deal because it's not like the focal point was on him, and they just really uncovered some stuff that he said that we talked about before on the show that made him seem like more of a well-rounded, genuine person. Not that he was like, you know, like a Trump like marcher or whatever, or quite the opposite. He detests the man. And then other people were saying it's because he was kind of recently smearing just the American media in general, saying they were untrustworthy, and just kind of, I think that kind of seems like the most likely to me. He seems like he was really pissing off a lot of people that didn't want like the light shined on them, so to speak. But I don't know. There's a lot of things going on here.
Now, it's possible that there's some more stuff coming down the pipe that we just don't know about yet. And they're getting ahead of it.
Is it coming down the pipe or pike? Which one is it? I never knew.
Oh, I don't know. I just figured it was a pipe, but I could be wrong. I'm not the brightest man.
I know. I mean, I wonder. It's what is that? And then what's the other one? Some people say play it by year instead of ear, but it's supposed to be play it by ear. Interesting, huh? Anyways, I digress.
Well,
I'm you're like,
it's possible that there's some things that have yet to drop, right? And and we'll find out about it at some point. It's also possible that everyone's or at least the execs are just going to say, hey, I don't want to fire myself, so let's just fire Tucker Carlson. Tucker Carlson was not alone with all the Dominion lawsuit shit.
Sure.
In fact, I would say he might have even been like the third worst live on air saying some shit that got brought up in the lawsuit, right? I think Hannity was a little bit more outspoken about the Dominion and the election fraud and this and that. And I think Laura Ingraham was also much more outspoken about it than Tucker was. And I think Tucker's if this is why, and it really is the Dominion stuff, I think he's just being thrown under the bus. And it's odd that they would pick Tucker, because I would just take this opportunity to get rid of Hannity. Let's point it all to Hannity. We'll get rid of Hannity and keep Tucker. He's younger. He's got better likability. He's got a better following. He's got better ratings. And that would have been my direction. So I don't really know what the thinking was there, but it seems like he's kind of being a fall guy.
That could be. I'll tell you what, though, when it comes to like keeping Hannity and getting rid of Tucker, though, going back to what I'm kind of thinking is the more likelihood here is that he's ruffling the wrong feathers. He does push back a lot and go against the narrative. I mean, sometimes he's right on board. Don't get me wrong, but he also questions a lot of things that Fox and the networks do, and that the right does just as much as he does the left. Probably more left, let's be honest. But Hannity does not. He hardly ever strays the narrative.
Guy.
He's a very dude. I mean, this guy he's making and serving the pancakes at the pancake breakfast every month. You know what I mean? Like, this guy is towing the line right there. He's a brown nosing piece of shit. That's what I gotta say about that guy.
Well, either way, I got you with at least one of that, at least part of that. I think he's definitely a piece of shit. Whether he's brown nosing or not, whatever.
Right. He brown noses the wrong people, though. He's got his face up Trump's ass like all the time. You know what I mean? But I don't know if he really has any pull over at Fox. But yeah, it's interesting. So I think that might be the reason, bro. I don't know, but like, I'm interested to see what he does next. But here's the thing, like we talked about before, he hasn't technically been let go. He's still under contract. Which I think is a kind of a sneaky move, because if he does want to blow the whistle, so to speak, or has anything else he wants to say, he really doesn't have a platform legitimately right now he can do that on. He can't go start his own show, his own network, a podcast, join like News Nation or one of those other, we'll call them fringe kind of news outlets or something like that. He's going to have to remain somewhat silent here for a little while. Well, and I don't even know.
And there's a little bit to unpack there, Scott. First of all, it's genius for Fox saying, hey, you know what? We're just going to not let you do your show anymore, and you're going to go home. Am I fired? No, you're not fired. Okay, no. So can I go get another show? I don't know. What does your contract say? What does your NDA say? So can I talk about this? No, there's an NDA and there's all this other stuff. So I can't have a podcast again. Do you want to breach your contract? I mean, it's like $27 million a year or some shit like that.
You're more than welcome to do that, Tucker.
Yeah, really we don't really want to pay you this, but we will pay you to have you shut the fuck up and keep you under wraps. So they're going to pay his full contract, which I want to say is in the upper 20s annually, for him to not work. For I think there's 3 years left on his current deal. So they're going to pay him like basically Lamar Jackson money, right?
Yeah. It's true.
Not quite. Lamar Jackson's actually got a sweeter deal than that. But the point is they're going to pay him to not do anything at all and pay him to basically silence him. And then I saw like some weird shit from Carrie Lake, the lady in Arizona that lost the governor thing, and it's kind of conspiracy theoried out all about it. So she said, Tucker, the America needs your voice. Tell us what really happened and all of this. And she's like, we'll fundraise and get your money. It's like, well, first off, if he breaks his NDA, he's going to get not just like lose his contract. He's going to get fucking sued. Yeah. So he's going to have like all of that. So you're going to find him like $500 million to fight Fox News with. I'm sorry. Tucker's going to keep his mouth shut. He's going to take his money. He's going to do a lot of fly fishing, because apparently he's an avid fly fisher, makes his own flies. And respect. Because that's some shit right there. So good for him. And we'll probably hear from him in a few years with his own show at some point. I don't think he'll end up like some of these other outcast news people over the last few years and end up on like Newsmax or whatever the fuck. What's his name from CNN went to? The Cuomo guy.
News Nation.
News Nation. Yeah, I don't
Yeah.
see him on any sort of network like that. And frankly, he's too big for that. All he has to do is simply say, "Hey, Sirius, I'm no longer under contract," and Sirius will be like, "Cool, we got you, buddy. 4 hours a day. We'll simulcast on TV, YouTube, and we'll fucking put you on. Here's your fucking $100 million contract. Give me 10 years or whatever." And we'll see him again. But if I was him, and my advice to him is, shut the fuck up, take your money, let them finish paying you what they owed you, and they agreed to pay you. You were holding up your end of the deal. And circle back in a few years, and we'll all join your show and listen and see what you have to say to see what really went down.
You think it's going to take a few years? I think it's going to take that long. I think it's definitely going to be past the election. Conveniently, I think they'll try to keep him as quiet as possible for the next year and a half.
Do you think that he got removed because of Trump?
Maybe
Rupert Murdoch's a big Trump guy, and Trump is the front runner. And obviously Tucker is not a Trump guy.
That's interesting. That could be. There could be something at play there.
I from what I've read, Rupert Murdoch had a strong hand in this. Has never liked Tucker, really, from what I've read. And in the end, he is the guy. I mean, it is his channel, so to speak.
Yeah. Interesting.
Whatever is not owned by like BlackRock or whoever the fuck.
Right. Interesting. Yeah, I don't know. We'll have to see how this plays out. But on the other side of things, Don Lemon, he'll probably go to hang out with his buddy Chris Cuomo over at News Nation. You don't know.
Maybe. I mean,
maybe not.
I could see him retiring or doing other gigs, like
bar mitzvahs.
Just like like hosting a fucking dance competition or something, like Ryan Seacrest style. Like, I could see him getting something in television that's not news related anymore to have a career outside of the news and moving on from the news. Because honestly, like, are we really going to listen to him when it comes to news stuff anymore? I mean,
I never really did listen to him initially, so I guess that's.
I mean, there's a reason why they wanted to get rid of him so bad anyway, and that's because like everyone was tired of his shit. No one wanted to work with the guy. Like, everyone's tired of shit, and it's just his name keeps coming up and coming up and coming up for like dumbass shit he says, and finally he gets fired. Just like any other job, you keep effing up and you eventually get fired, and you move on. But obviously, he's got enough money to retire. I mean, Scott, dude, you give me like, I'd say $2 million or more, like take home after taxes, I'll retire right now.
Yeah. This is very true, Bob. This is very true. So, well, speaking of a tired old shit, not just tired of his shit, but your boy has dropped his bid for 2024. And we all know Mr. Joe Biden, the spry young chicken that he is ready to tackle another.
What is he, 79 right now?
He's 80. He's now 80.
He's 80 years old. 80 years fucking old.
80 years old, and he's decided he's going to go ahead and run. And of course, mind you, that term starts in 2024, which is still a little bit of ways. So I'm not sure what's going on here. I know the Dems are pretty divided about this, and they should be, quite frankly. I don't know who supports this though, besides Jill Biden and Hunter Biden. Like, I'm not sure who just seriously and genuinely says this is a good idea. But here we are. I don't know. When I heard that, and then also knowing that Trump is the front runner for the Republicans, I'm like, really? Are we really going to do what we did like 3.5 years ago? Are we going to do this again? Like,
I'm not going to do it. I mean, you already know where I fall on this. I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to vote for him.
Yeah, I mean, it really has me losing hope here for the American people in general when I kind of see this transpire. Now, I don't know how much. It's not really the fault of the American people, though, to have him run again. It is the fault, partially, of a good faction of the American people, though, to bring Trump in as the front runner. Because did we not learn our lessons there? I mean, even if you're not at all somebody that will ever vote for a Democrat, like, why are we gonna go with recycled presidents now? Like, you know what I mean? Like, bring in some fresh blood here, man. I mean, I don't know. It's just interesting to me. But yeah, It literally seems like it's deja vu, and here we are. We're gonna do 2020 part 2.
I mean, I don't know. I don't know if people like it or if they're really tired of it, but I'm gonna circle back again to the goddamn cock smoking fucking need to die already boomer generation. These guys, we got the DNC old fogies that are gonna push Joe Biden out there with no primary, right? Against the will of the party. And everyone that says we need young blood, we need a different candidate. But then you got the fogies. Well, he's the only one that can beat Trump.
Really?
Anyone could beat Trump at this point. Dude,
yeah.
It's so sad. And then so now they're not even going to have a primary, like a debate, a primary, nothing. So anyone that actually is running against him in the Democratic Party won't even get any serious consideration to run, campaign funds, nothing. The DNC is going all in on Joe Biden, and that makes me give two shits less about the DNC. I'm sorry, this is not the will of the people. You guys are forcing this old fuck down our throats, and nobody wants it. Nobody wants it. Not a single person I've talked to was like, I fucking love Joe Biden. He's a great president. I'll vote for him anytime. Like, no, the dude is walking dust. He is like a fall away from Kamala being president. Like, this is terrible, you know? And then the other side, you got, you know, the Republicans want to tout out, you know, Ron DeSantis, and like, that's great, dude. I don't even think he would win a moderate Republican state. Like, take him to like South Carolina. I don't even think he could win in that state. Like, it's very interesting, but he's like, you've got a bunch of people in the Republican Party that want to run or whatever. And DeSantis is, let's be honest, the only like serious one. And Trump doesn't want to debate him. He said, I won't participate in a Republican primary debate. So he just wants the nod at 78. It's not like he's a spring chicken, you know. What does it say when we've got these two guys on death's doors fucking sending each other Groupon codes for their Depend purchases, and then all of us like normal functioning cognitive people have to pick between like terrible and almost as terrible. Like, I don't understand like the direction of the country, and why does no one, Republican or Democrats, have the balls to put up like a 50-year-old person with some education and common fucking sense and at least a dash of charisma and try to like move the country forward. It's so fucking upsetting, and I think it's going to be the real wild card in this election, and it might get Trump the White House. Because a lot of people aren't going to, like myself, they're not going to vote for an 80-year-old dude. They're just not.
Yeah.
Trump might win by default.
Yeah. I don't know. There is a lot of people.
That's my spot. Started off with the hatred for the boomers, but I said what I said.
You did. That you did. And there's a lot of there's just a lot to it. I mean, I agree to a large degree here with what you're saying, but I don't know, man. I again, like, it's just really interesting to me. It's deflating, Bob. I'm always trying to have a happy, good Sunday, especially when we're doing the show. But this conversation is making me depressed. Maybe we move on to something.
Trump and Biden, it's depressing.
Maybe we move on to something a little bit more cheery. You know what I mean? That's just what I'm saying. I'm just going to throw it out there.
Well, we've got other things.
We do.
So seriously, can everyone see behind me? I'm just gonna get out of the way for a second.
Yes. Yeah. It looks like Michael Keaton smelling the sheets after he just farted. And is that kind of what is that what we're
Well, the
at?
color of his hair says he was probably smelling my sheets after I just farted.
Yeah.
So I read a story yesterday that was that made it move a little bit. It really did it for me. And Warner Brothers announced that Beetlejuice 2 has been greenlit. Apparently, they've been talking about it for years. We've heard it on and off, and it's been kind of like the old wives' tale that it's going to happen. It's going to happen. Yeah, right. It's never going to happen, right? But apparently Brad Pitt's production company teamed up with Warner Brothers and started working together on projects in February.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's a big part of why this is now coming around. So on IMDb, Beetlejuice is there. I've seen that they're in contract talks of Jenna Ortega to play Lydia, which is fucking perfect. Now, typecast, stereotype, dangerous for her career, maybe.
Is it Lydia's daughter though? I thought it was her
daughter.
Oh,
I don't know who it's going to be. I just know that's going to be the
because what's her name is going to be in there again.
Winona Ryder.
Yeah. As Lydia, and I think she plays her daughter or something like that.
So there we go. And
that makes sense.
And IMDb still has Michael Keaton attached onto this project, but I've heard that there's contract talks going on with Johnny Depp to actually play Beetlejuice. So I don't know if Michael Keaton might be coming in there to play like some sort of flashback version, or I don't know. Maybe there's a different Beetlejuice. I don't know. I have no idea what the story is. I don't think they finished the story. I think they've just greenlit the project and they still have to do the screenplay and they're trying to get the cast together. So it's very interesting, but very fucking exciting. This is one of the most underrated, underappreciated artistic films ever. The cast of the first one was fucking immortal. Like what one of the best casting jobs ever done at almost every single position that they were casting. From Gina Davis to Baldwin to it's just Keaton. It's ridiculous. So they're gonna have to really step up to live in the limelight of this. But man, talk about Beetlejuice, one of my favorite movies ever.
Hands down. Yeah, definitely. I'll be honest. I don't even know if they need a story, Bob. Yeah, I think they could just kind of do like a sequence of cameos for
just
an hour
live
and a
in
half.
that world and just make a time frame from here to there, and then it ends, and we just be excited to see it.
It could be like an episode of Seinfeld. You really don't need much going on there. I think just all these characters like back in action would be enough for us, especially nostalgia wise.
Make the movie,
tip the scale,
sell the rights to HBO Max to make it a series.
Boom. Beetlejuice series. Beetlejuice, right?
Beetlejuice-ish lasers.
Wow, taking it back. I like that. Jewish lasers. Damn, those Jewish lasers.
And another thing that we haven't talked about on the show is Harry Potter's coming to HBO Max.
Yeah, that's exciting stuff, and I like it.
We fucking love Harry Potter. Like we're huge fans. And apparently they're going to make the show 7 seasons long, and every season is going to be a book. So we're going to get like 10 plus episodes to really capture the book as it was written. Man, this is like some Peter Jackson, Lord of the Rings epicness. I think people are scared because of the movies and what they did, but let's be honest, the movies are fantastic, but the movies are not the books, and the movies left a ton out, and the movies were more like, let's put it out there. Then they found out they're successful and they just kind of did what they could do within a 90-minute window or whatever. But there's so much more to the Harry Potter world that needs to get encapsulated. And even in the movies, some of the eeriness of the scenes and things from the books, they speed it up to where you need to slow it down and really show like how like suspenseful the scene really was. You know what I mean? So I think there's a lot to go over there. And I just have a feeling that HBO is going to fucking deliver.
Now, are they recasting like the same characters?
No.
Or are they doing like kind of like Hogwarts, like the Hogwarts Legacy, where it's just like that world and like completely different characters?
So I think right now, like for instance, it's not for sure again because they're like looking for contracts, but there's rumors of Adam Driver playing Snape.
Oh, I can
like
see that.
A young Snape. Right. There's also rumors of the guy that played Draco, of him actually playing
his dad,
Lucius, when he was younger. So I think it's going to happen when everyone was younger, back in the time when Harry Potter's parents were still alive. Is I think the time frame they're looking at, but I really don't know. I don't know how they're going to do it or how they're going to do it. Maybe. I mean, if it's supposed to be off the books or whatever, I don't know if it's going to be verbatim or what it is, but I trust HBO. I trust Warner Brothers. This is their franchise. I think this is going to be a move. that similar to when Disney bought Star Wars, everyone was really afraid of, but then lo and behold, they were in really good hands with a lot of production and money that can be thrown at this and talent. And I think they're going to pull through similar to how Disney's been pulling through a Star Wars franchise.
This is true. This is true. Is there a tentative like launch on this Hogwarts series or this Harry Potter series, or is it just announced that it's happening?
It was just announced that it's going to be a thing.
Okay.
I don't think there's been much information, but I'll pull it up right now and see. Everything we know so far. It just says that the new series is expected to premiere on Max somewhere in 2025, 2026.
Oh boy, we're a ways off there. They're slow burn, but I mean,
I think they're going to do all the seasons at once, so that the actors are all the same age and the story all makes sense. Because that's some of the problem with these shows is before you know it, these actors all get too old to like kind of fit in the timelines anymore, and they just have to kind of end the run. So like Stranger Things is a great example. Yeah. Right. Had they have filmed a bunch of Stranger Things sooner, they probably could have gotten more seasons out of it.
Yeah. Yeah. I think that's the last season's coming up too.
Right.
I believe. What is it? Season 5?
5. Yeah.
Something like that.
Season 5. Yeah. That's good. You're on it. You're on it.
I feel great. Feel great today. Not cloudy at all. Just dialed in, firing on all cylinders, Bob. Well, some good things coming down the pike there. I'll tell you what, dude. Something that we haven't done before that we just need to add to the yearly traditions is drinking on the first day of the NFL draft. Because let's face it, dude, the last 2 days. How
fun was that?
Not really. The last 2 days are inconsequential, really. But for the top 20 or so, having some conversation, having some drinks, enjoying young lives being changed. I think it's just great. I don't know where we've been. We've really missed the mark, but like we do here, we're going to ask for forgiveness, and moving forward, we're going to make sure that we do this every single year, because what a treat that was. And honestly, for the top 20, I'm pretty happy with the turnout here too. I mean, the one that maybe bugged me a little bit was Houston picking up CJ Stroud, but when they traded up and had the 2 picks in a row and then got was it Jalen Carter or something like that? I can't remember.
And it wasn't Jalen Carter, but it was a defensive end that was probably the best, edge rusher in the draft.
Yeah.
It was a masterful move from the Texans because there was talk of they didn't really want to get a quarterback. They really wanted the defender. Yeah. But then they made the deal to get the 3rd pick too. So then they were able to get both. And man, they really came through. There were some real winners in the draft. And did you see my my TikTok that I sent you last night? Remember I was telling you a few weeks back, and I was like, hey, one of the things I'm interested is where does Will Levis go? Where does Richardson go? And I was like, and there's this little guy from Kansas State. He's 5'5" or something, but this little mighty mouse. He just runs around. He's faster than everyone. It's crazy to watch him run. I'm curious to see where he goes in the NFL. Motherfucker went to the Dallas Cowboys.
Look at that.
Of course he did. Of course he did. Right. So we've got a little 5'5" terror at running back that's coming in. And this guy, he's going to be a nightmare, because as a 6'8" defender or whatever, you're not going to see past the offensive line. And all of a sudden, this little fast shit's going to squirt out of a hole and be gone. And before you can even react to it, because you won't even see him coming, he'll just disappear as soon as the ball snapped. You won't know where he's at, because he'll literally be hidden from view. It's kind of a crazy dynamic, but we've seen some little guys really thrive in the NFL. So curious to see how this little guy does. And I say little guy, he's 5'5", 175 pounds. This dude is yoked.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, what's this guy's weight? Because I would imagine he's like a human version of a bowling ball, is kind of what I'm imagining, but a faster one, right?
Yes, yes, very low center of gravity, very hard to tackle, very hard to get. So interesting skill set. I'm fascinated to watch him play. I'm really happy the Cowboys picked him up. So it'll be interesting to watch. But dude, yeah, drinking on draft night was one of the most underrated things that we've been overlooking for years.
Yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong, we do drink with almost every event that we do, but we had neglected to do so the past few years that we've been able to. So there is that. Now, let me ask you this. Who do you think is going to be the biggest short-term winner? Now, obviously, you're probably going to go with a defensive end or player or something like that. But what team do you think is going to get the most bang for their buck this next season from the moves they made in the draft?
I think Seattle again.
Mm.
Again, they did it again.
Mm.
Seattle kicked a bunch of ass. So right away they got their first round pick in the top 10. They picked up a cornerback, right? Trying to get that Legion of Boom secondary back together, right? And the second round they grabbed another top tier cornerback that many people had going in the first round. So they got 2 rookie cornerbacks that are money. They also got probably the best receiver in the draft. So sitting around like 18, I think it was, whenever their pick was, where they got the receiver. And I say what you will about Pete Carroll, but that dude keeps this franchise going. You know, the Seahawks have only like missed the playoffs like 2 or 3 times in his whole time there in 15 years.
I can believe that. Yeah, that makes sense.
Pete Carroll's the fucking man. He's a hell of a coach.
And he chews gum like a champ too. I'll tell you that.
He does.
He does.
He's like, I hate to floss. I just have to chew gum all the time. so yeah, I think Seattle, like, they really won well. I would say Philly did really well too. And Jalen Carter's probably going to come and do really well. I'm really impressed with the Cowboys defensive tackle pick who they got. This guy's like 330 pounds. He's a monster. Micah Parsons was actually showing us his text during the draft. And he was just like, yeah, I was talking to DQ, Dan Quinn, earlier, and I was like, hey, I really want this guy from Michigan, and he sent him around, and he's just like, I'm all about that life, and they did draft him, and Mike Parsons got super stoked to get him because he needs a run stopper. He needs a big old anchor in the middle of that line, and they got one, and they got one that's like 21 years old, and which is like what, 2 years younger than Micah Parsons. So I think they filled a couple of holes on their team as well. But I think Philly and Seattle probably had the best drafts for me. But man, again, Seattle does more with less than any other team in the league, and they're just consistently better at it. I think Philly's is going to be a little bit underwhelming because of their already stacked roster. It's going to be harder to see their talent.
Yeah. That totally makes sense. I have to agree with you about Philadelphia. I was actually a little bit jelly about what was going on there. I was like, did they really need any of this? Like, is this necessary right now to make this team better in our division?
The rich get richer.
Yeah, I'll tell you, man. That's for damn sure.
But, they've also like made sure to get that. So Philly's they're going to be in a tough spot in the next few years, right? Yeah. They're not going to have as good a draft picks, and they're going to be winning. And so they're not going to get like high first round picks or anything like that. And they're also going to be up against, kind of like all successful teams, losing teams because they can't afford to keep everyone because everyone's too good, that they're going to get much better offers to go with other like less good teams with more salary cap available. And so I think they're going to be having diminishing returns over the next couple of years. But right now, this next year, they have a window and they might have the best roster in the NFL.
That makes sense. Yeah.
And fuck them.
So it's going to be tough to tango with them. Seriously. I'll tell you, man. I mean, we're talking about what Washington was doing, but they're literally just using the draft to protect themselves against Philadelphia's offense. You know what I mean? That says a lot when you can manipulate the draft picks of the other teams in your division to a large degree. Too. We just need more talent. So, yeah, tough times, man. Well,
so, moving on to the NBA.
Yeah.
We got to get in there. In
fact,
Golden State and Sacramento are playing game 7 right now, buddy.
Oh my God. I gotta look.
Well, I'll tell you the score. I'm already in there. 73-66 Golden State, and it's in the third.
Oh, come on, Sacktown. You can do this, guys. We need this.
I don't think they can do this.
Oh. And the Heat beat the Knicks.
Yeah. The Heat did beat the Knicks.
So let's do this because there's still a lot left. There's a lot left here. Obviously, we're both very excited the Bucks were knocked out by the Heat. Your boy Butler, Jimmy Butler, is a baller.
He's one of the most productive clutch playoff players in NBA history.
Who's going to the finals?
Maybe.
Go ahead. Maybe. No, who is going to the finals?
Oh, who is going to the finals? Yeah. Oh, that's tough, man. Oh man, I really hate to say it, but I think that the Warriors are going to come out of the West. It's tough, but I do. And in the East, I don't think it's going to be the Heat. I don't think they have enough, but I think the Sixers are going to come out of the East. I think the Sixers are going to get over the hump. They're healthy. They're playing well. I think it's going to be Sixers Warriors. I just think that the Warriors have that pedigree and they have the guys that, they didn't have a great regular season record, but a lot of that was like kind of getting everyone healthy and saving yourself. Because some of the NBA these days is just, let's get into the playoffs and then we'll turn it up.
Mm-hmm.
So that's my call. Warrior Sixers.
Okay. I'm going to go just outlandish here. I'm going to say Nuggets Knicks. I know the Knicks just lost, but I'd love to see it. That's kind of my wishful thinking finals lineup this year. Probably won't happen, but I thought I'd just call it just in case there's a slim chance that it does, Bob. That's what I'm going with.
Hey, man, the Nuggets beat the Suns. Game 1. We got that.
Yeah, before they have time to like strategize and game plan like game 2. Right now they're on a high. They're like, man, we just went into our home, our hometown and just blew them out. So good for them. I mean, Jesus, though, they were on fire. Did you watch any of that game last night? It was they looked really good. Let's see if they can keep up the pace. They stuck
it to the Suns.
Yeah,
they did. So good for them. I'm all about Denver doing well. I have been for a long time just because I love the underdog. I love the team that doesn't have historical success to have success.
That's Denver. It's written all over.
That's all Denver Nuggets, right? Mm-hmm. So I don't even think they've ever been to a finals.
I don't know. Honestly, I
don't know. Think they have, man.
Let's give it a little spot check. Have the Nuggets been to the finals?
But the Sacramento Kings have held their own. But
Google just comes up and says no, $0.
They're like, stop playing, stop asking stupid questions, play stupid games, get stupid prizes.
That was funny. Google, Google, your games. I'll tell you what, man. Well, Bob,
just a similar thing. I'm always pulling for the Knicks.
Dude, I'm telling you, bro. Did you see the stars out there today getting to witness the loss? But old Ewing was out there in the stands. It was a fun time. It was a fun time. I mean, you always have Spike Lee there. It's just, they need to get back in there, bro. Relive the late 90s, essentially. You know what I mean?
And the Knicks are solid and they're young, and I think they're going to continue to get better. So it's just one of those things, though. The Knicks of growing up, it was Ewing and Starks, who probably would have had a couple of championships had it not been for the Bulls.
Yeah, true. I mean, I think we could say that about a few teams in the 90s.
Utah?
Yeah, definitely, bro. Definitely.
Utah, New York, 100%. Maybe even Orlando.
Yeah.
So, it's interesting. But, dude, the NBA playoffs, this NBA playoffs it's been fascinating. It's been great. There's been a lot of drama already. I just, for my money, dude, the NBA playoffs is the best playoffs.
Interesting.
All the 7-game series, like in the NFL, shit goes down, a play goes sideways, and a lesser team wins, and then they go and get like blown out in the next game or whatever, and it happens. But that doesn't happen in the NBA. With 7-game series, the cream rises to the top. You really have to be consistently better than that other team to can you the look on your face, always talking about cream again. I'm getting in there.
Well, can you imagine though if the NFL had 7-game series? I mean, you would literally have like your kicker and the punter left on the team healthy after 7-game series. That'd be rough. But there's definitely plus and minuses for the single elimination versus actually stringing it out and letting the best team win just by kind of probability wise. So
well, and it's exciting, and it comes down to like discipline and being clutch, right? Yeah. And you see those good teams. You don't have to be the best, most talented team. You have to be the most disciplined and most clutch team, willing to like do the right thing and not make the mistakes when the stakes are the highest. That's why Kansas City always wins.
Yeah,
it's because Andy Reid has these guys really well coached to handle the moment, right? It's not because they're the best team. Look at Philly; they're a better team last year.
Yeah,
but
I agree.
They didn't handle the moment well, and especially Jalen. He fumbled, and it cost him the game. Let's just call it what it is. Yeah, there's other things that could have won that, but had he not fumbled, they wouldn't have lost the game. Yeah. So it's one of many things that could have gone different, that game would have gone different. But again, I bet he doesn't do that again. I bet you he learns from that, and that shit never happens again, which makes him more clutch. And that's how people grow and how they get better. And football's that way. In basketball, though, you have to be clutch and money every single night.
You got to be Jimmy Butler, essentially.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah.
Basically, everyone has to be Jimmy Butler. Unfortunately, he's the only one on his team. If Tyler Hero can make it back, and I don't know when his expectation is to come back, but that dude's an all-star. You know, so can we get him in there and make a difference with the Heat, or are they just going to be kind of going as far as Jimmy Butler can take them? And I kind of think it's that. I think they're going to go as far as Jimmy Butler can physically take them, and it can happen. We saw LeBron in 2016 single-handedly take the Cleveland Cavs above the far superior team and just will his way to a championship. Mm-hmm. So it can happen.
This is very true. Yeah. Interesting stuff. And we're not even at the halfway point. That's what's fun about these playoffs too. They take a while.
Oh, know? Yeah. No, we'll be watching playoff games on the ship. That's going to be awesome.
You know what? That's a really interesting little.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
Great time of year to go. It's great time of year.
Very nicely done, Bob. I'll tell you, bud. I think we're over time here. I think we're done. I think we've worn out our welcome here with the Stiffies. I don't know how that is even possible, but I think we're getting the lights turned off. They're started stacking the chairs. It's closing time. What do you think about that?
I agree. But thanks for listening. Just a few Stiffies that I want to give shout outs to. First off, thank you for comment, Lucky, and listening to the show. Keep listening. Delight, thank you for listening and commenting on our show. We appreciate you listening. And Shella Jankowski, one of our number one Stiffies for a long time. We appreciate you. Keep listening. And Mr. Lenz, Mike Lenz, we are here with you. We think about you often, and we wish you the best to you and your family. And again, keep listening, and we'll be in touch. So like and subscribe, everyone. And keep listening, commenting. Tell us, tell your friends. That's it.
Yeah.
Thanks,
and
everyone.
If you're feeling frisky, get out there and mix up a nasty rum runner and put that kerosene on the top, because it's a doozy. Enjoy.
Absolutely. See you guys.
Cheers, Scotty. Oh, cheers all the way. Cheers to your tits.
Cheers for fears.
Oh, it's a great band.
Cheers for beers.
Cheers.
Recline that thing all the way back.